I saw a little girl stop an execution, and ever since then, it's been hard to live with it. I don't even know how to start. Honestly, I've never written anything like this before, but I can't keep it inside anymore. Sometimes something happens, and you realize you'll never be the same again. The world cracks somewhere deep inside, and you can see that crack, but others can't. And that's when it starts to feel really lonely. It was just a normal day, and maybe that's what made it so terrifying. We humans, we can get used to anything, even horror, even death in the town square, even executions that people watch like they're going to the market. Yeah, public executions. People don't even flinch anymore. They bring their kids, they eat bread, laugh, gossip about prices. I was there by accident. I worked nearby, in a bakery. My boss was a real bastard. Be at the square by sunrise, or don't bother coming back. So I went, and you know, sometimes you think, if I'm here, it must mean something. But then something breaks, and you realize sometimes coincidences speak louder than destiny. There was already a man on the scaffold. They called him Sir. I didn't know him. They said he was a traitor, a spy. But people around here, they like to talk when they know nothing. He didn't look like a criminal. He looked like a man who'd already accepted everything. Not peaceful, just empty. The executioner stood beside him. Corvin, a mountain of a man, made of stone, they said. Every move cold, precise, perfect. Never flinched once in his career. The crowd was its usual mix: vendors, apprentices, bored wives, curious boys, tired old men. The air smelled of wet cobblestone and roasted chestnuts, and somewhere, deep down, I felt wrong. That kind of silence inside you that you only recognize later, the silence of dread. Then she appeared, like she just stepped out of the air. I noticed her by accident, a tiny figure moving through the crowd. People didn't even seem to see her. They just parted. She didn't scream, didn't cry, just walked. A little girl, maybe 7 years old. Thin, barefoot, wearing a faded blue dress a size too big. Her hair a bit messy, the kind of braid a mother makes when her hands are shaking. She walked right past the guards, not defiant, calm. One reached out to stop her, and then dropped his hand. I swear he just froze. The crowd fell quiet, like the air got thicker. She climbed the scaffold, looked around and said, in this small, steady voice, "Stop the execution." No fear, no hesitation, just truth. People laughed, of course, that nervous kind of laughter when someone speaks too honestly. Who let her up there? What a show. Kids, huh? But she didn't flinch. She just looked straight at Sir, at the man who'd already accepted death. The judge barked, "Too late. The sentence is passed. Take her away." And then she turned to the executioner. This tiny, barefoot girl looked at that giant with the axe and said, "You weren't born a killer." And I swear, the wind stopped. Corvin, the unshakable, the cold one, flinched, like she'd hit him with something invisible. He raised the axe, maybe to hide it, maybe to breathe, but she reached out and touched his wrist. Her little hand. I don't know if it was warm or cold, but he jerked like she'd burned him. And she said quietly, "Tell them the truth. Sir is innocent. You know it." Something broke inside me right then. Inside everyone, I think. That invisible thread of, "It's not my problem." Gone. The executioner closed his eyes, for a long, awful moment. And when he opened them, he wasn't stone anymore. He was human. He dropped the axe. The sound was like thunder. The crowd exploded, shouting, chaos, guards grabbing swords, the judge yelling to restore order. But I couldn't hear any of it. Corvin spoke, his voice trembling, as if each word hurt. "Sir is innocent." I was forced to lie. The chancellor gave the order. The judge went pale. You could see his world collapsing, and I realized no one there was ready for the truth. We thought the world was made of stone, but it was made of glass, and that day, it cracked. The guards removed the chains. Sir fell to his knees, not from weakness, but because hope hit him like lightning. The girl ran to him, hugged him, and he held her like a man who just got his life back. Corvin, the monster, the killer, dropped to his knees too. "Forgive me," he whispered, and she said softly, "I'm not a judge. Forgive yourself." And I think, in that moment, he stopped being a killer. No one celebrated, no one cheered, no one moved. People just stood there, crying quietly, watching something impossible. Because in a world where we'd long decided miracles don't exist, we saw one. Not magic, not thunder from the heavens, just a small, human courage stronger than fear. When they led Sir away, free, the girl walked down the scaffold on her own, as if she'd just finished a simple task. And the strangest thing, the crowd parted. No one touched her, no one said a word. We just watched her go. Since that day, I haven't slept well. Not from nightmares, from weight. I realized how much we endure just because we're afraid to speak. How much truth has died while we stayed silent. And how easily the world changes when even one person stops being afraid. Sometimes at night, I hear her voice again. "You weren't born a killer." And I think, how many times have I been the executioner? Not with an axe, but with silence, with words, with indifference. We all kill a little bit of light sometimes, just to blend in. I don't know if she was an angel or just a child too honest for this world, but I saw the world stop for one small voice, and I can't unsee it. If anyone ever tells you that one person can't change anything, I'll tell them this story. Because now I know, sometimes a small faith is stronger than the greatest power. And that's the heaviest truth, and the brightest one.